This is the Pete and Sebastian Show with Pete Correale and Sebastian Maniscalco.
Pete and Sebastian Show, we're back. Sebastian Maniscalco on the other end. How are you? Listen, we didn't say almost anything before we started the show. So, we were looking at each other, didn't even say hello.
I didn't even see you until just now. He didn't even have the camera on, so this is the first time I'm laying eyes on you.
Oh, that's good to know, because I've been looking at you for like 2 minutes, and I thought you were looking right at me, and you weren't saying a word, and I was going to tell you, man, your resting face is scarier than ever, bro. It's reached new heights. Yeah, I was literally almost going to say, hey, man, do you still want to do this? That's how you look, dude. So I didn't know you couldn't even see me. All right.
I could see you, man. I could see
right.
you. You just literally turned the camera on and I saw you.
What's up? Look at you, man, with the leather, the perfectly done hair. Did you come from a shoot or something?
You know, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm really glad that you noticed. I've been looking at myself on these podcasts, and basically it looks like I'm doing this shit in my pajamas. So I'm like, you know what? If we're going to up the game with the technology, the camera, the sound, the backdrops, why don't I upgrade the wardrobe a little bit? You know, let's come to play. Plus, I'm coming off a shoot. My hair's done up, and I got a little makeup on.
Bro, you give this whole speech about how you're thinking you'll start looking better on future casts, and then you go, but I'm coming off a shoot. So the next cast, if you're not coming off a shoot, you're not going to do this. What were you... Well, I can't wait to...
I've been inspired. I actually think, based on how this goes, I might have to be doing makeup prior to these things every time.
Listen, if you do, I will. I got a suit that's dying to be worn on this cast. But is this maybe a new thing with you where, like, you're going to become one of those, you know, public figures that doesn't leave the house unless, like, not even to get the mail unless you look like that?
Not necessarily. However, I have made it a point whenever I leave the house to take a shower and not get done up, but, you know, look presentable out in public. I can't say that was the case 10 years ago. Roll out of bed, maybe put some shorts on, and go get a cup of coffee looking like somebody threw me out of an airplane. So,
Right. Well, I got to ask you this then, because I'm trying to make some more videos. You know, I've been through this for 10 years. You know how it goes. But 9 times out of 10, when I think I got something to say and I hold up my phone, I'm unpresentable. I need to get home, get in the bathroom, do some stuff, get the hair right. And by then, it's lost. I'm out somewhere. You know what I mean? So, like, what's your take on that? If you went to do a social and you didn't feel like you looked good enough to do it?
Oh, that's the reason, part of the reason why I've been taking showers for the last 10 years and doing my hair, because you don't know when a social media opportunity is going to come about. And then what? You put the camera on and you got a piece of snot laying across your cheek from the morning before. You got to... Listen, the world is a stage.
It's sad. It's sad, but it is. Yeah, it's and you know, I don't know. Listen, my kind of looks. My father-in-law put it best years ago. All right, because like one morning when I first was dating my future wife, I'm in their kitchen visiting. You know, and we had gone out the night before, and it was the first time seeing my father-in-law. Hey, you know, how you doing? Like really hanging with him. That night when we were going out again, hair just right, beard at the level I want, flossed, brushed, everything. And he looked at me and he goes, wow, you clean up good. And I always felt that's the case. I can look presentable, but dude, I mean, like, if you roll out of bed, you'd wonder, and looked at me, you'd wonder why Jackie would even be married to me. By the time we go out that night, you go, yeah, they look like maybe they make a good couple. I don't know about you.
I'm not into that whole "you clean up well" comment.
No,
right?
really.
because it suggests to me that you look so bad, that there's a huge difference between you looking your worst and you looking your best. And I feel like when somebody tells you that, they should say, Jesus, I thought you were ugly.
Bro, we went out water skiing later that day. First time I'd water skied in like 10 years. And when I came back in, the first thing my father-in-law said to me, this is the same day as I clean up good, all I could see was teeth. Because I was just like smiling and laughing. So when I came back, my brother-in-law was like, way to go. And Jackie's like, was it fun? My father-in-law goes, God, all I could see was teeth. Holy shit, you clean up good. All I can see is teeth. But I don't disagree with him, bro. I am wildly unattractive. Unless, you know, everything, like the wrong angle. Sometimes I look pale. It's amazing. So, I mean, like, do you think guys like BP just, I mean, literally roll over looking, or do you think there's an effort before he goes out, even for lunch on his motorcycle?
BP's roll out of bed look?
That's Brad Pitt, folks. There's some new people that didn't know what that was.
Yeah, sorry. For those of you just joining the Pete and Sebastian show, BP is Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's roll out of bed look is better than my tuxedo look going to the Oscars.
Wow. I wish I could stick up for you and say that's not true, but it is true. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's just built in. I don't know, dude. Nah, you look tight, man. You look tight in the tux. Now, do you mind me asking? I don't mean to take over as if I'm interviewing you, but can we know what this shoot was? Because I'm curious. Like, was it a photo shoot?
It was a photo video shoot. What we're doing is we are putting together the cold open for the Netflix special. And we were doing some video and stills for that, and then there was a behind-the-scenes interview I did. So that's the reason for the hair and the makeup. But the reason for the jacket was just I felt inspired. I feel like we got to bring a level of professionalism here to the Pete and Sebastian show to our listeners that they might have not had in the past. And, yeah, am I a little bit more rigid, a little bit more stiff than I would be in a hoodie? Yeah, but, all right, when you're clicking the dial on Facebook and this jacket, it might fly off the screen going, whoa, what are we missing here? I feel like it's an attention grabber, not because it's such a fantastic jacket, but it's such a departure from what I've been wearing on these things that people might think, Jesus Christ, what's going on in his life that he's wearing a jacket on the cast? So
good point.
That's
the
reason.
He got a good point
For that. I brought something new to the cast today, and I want to make it a segment. And based on how this goes, I want to make this a regular thing.
What do we got?
And it stems from my complete disgust with human behavior and parenting, and I think the way kids have been brought up, I'd say over the last 30 to 35 years, what I'm about to talk about hasn't really been covered in a lot of the parents out there and how they raise their kids. And it's what I call Sebastian's Etiquette Corner. Okay?
I'm loving it. I'm loving it, bro. No. By the way, I just want to add that, you know, you're being polite by saying parenting. I don't even see parenting. I just see giving birth and then, you know, you're on your own. It's unbelievable.
No, you're right. It's give birth, give iPad, and then hopefully they'll grow up to be some type of productive human being. And I wanted to share a couple of things out of this book. The book is called 24 Karat Etiquette. All right?
Wow. Is that you? Whose book is this?
It's Lisa Gachet. It's Golden Rules from the World's Most Glamorous Zip Code.
All right.
So this covers everything from cell phone etiquette to tipping, anything you would want to know in the etiquette space.
All right, because I got one I want to ask you about. I got one I had written down that I wanted to ask you about.
Do you want to start off Sebastian's etiquette corner with your question?
I would like to do that if you don't mind. I need to know what proper etiquette is when you're texting with somebody. You know, how do you end it? Like it's driving me nuts. Sometimes like I'll say later and then they say something else. I'm like, hey, don't you know what later means? Later means later. But, you know, they just keep going. And then then they hit me with an emoji, and I don't do emojis. So when you get an emoji, you know, I do a ha-ha. That's all I type, ha-ha, emoji.
You do a ha-ha after an emoji?
No, Guy, I've never, on my grandfather's grave, I've never sent an emoji in my life. I'm so proud of that. I can't even tell you.
No, I mean, I think it's something you definitely should be proud of. I think a lot of people use... You know who uses the emojis?
You do the thumbs up. That threw me off. You start doing the thumbs up. I was like,
yeah, you know what? I got to be honest with you. I throw an emoji in every once in a while. But you know who's using emojis a little bit too much?
Oh.
My mother-in-law.
Really?
She don't even text. Everything she texts is an emoji. That's how she communicates.
Oh, that's great. It's like Morse code.
I don't think there's any way a person could be conveying that they're so disinterested in the conversation by sending an emoji. And I'm sorry, Simone. I'm going to have to call you out on the cast there. I don't even know if she listens anymore. I doubt it.
Bro, I don't think she sees it as that way. I think she thinks an emoji is saying so many more things than one or two words ever could. Like a celebration cake. I mean, that's saying, congratulations, way to go, da, da, da. Like, it's saying a lot of things. So, you know, I mean, you know who uses emojis that, like, really threw me off, changed my outlook on emojis, like, as far as, whoa. So, this is deep with... What? NFL Defensive Player of the Year 3 times over, sending emojis. That was like, that threw me off. Did you ever get I'm not wrong, right? You've gotten a lot of emoji here and there. Right?
Yeah, but you got to understand, you know, although Watt carries himself like a 63-year-old man.
Yeah.
The guy's like 32 years old. I mean, he grew up on emojis.
I know. I forget that. I really do, man. I mean,
right?
We could have babysat this guy. We could have had him.
You could be Watt's father.
Oh my God! If I didn't bring a condom behind the movie theater, you got to catch Patreon to know what I meant by that one, folks. Yeah, you could have made that mistake.
By the way,
all right, here we go. I'm loving. What?
By the way, Patreon, $5 a month at Pete and Sebastian on Patreon.com. Get your subscription now. Before it all fills up.
Yeah, I said to Jackie, I want to do Etiquette, but I said, of course I do. I said, I'm going to talk about maybe Berlin and Patreon. I feel bad, like, you know, like, what am I making you pay $5 if you want to hear the Berlin story? And she was like, oh, pay $5 if you want to hear the Berlin story. I was like, eh.
No, I mean,
so,
you can't.
I go back Jackie. And forth.
Jacky's got a business mind. She's piped into what's going to sell on Patreon. You put up check out Pete in Berlin on Patreon. That's at least good for what, another 2 or 3 subscribers. Come on.
Good thing. Yeah, go ahead. I'm kidding. By the way, folks, I'm kidding. You get it if you want. You don't if you don't. We're having fun over there, but you know, I'm not trying to hold it against you.
Don't worry about it if you don't join. Again, I have so much going on here, and we got to the emojis, and I got a little distracted. But I want to tell you what I'm talking about here, if I may. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law are wait, don't put this up yet. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law are on a vacation. Right?
Nice.
They're in Germany for Oktoberfest. Right?
Beautiful.
Now their house is flooded from the the hurricane, right? Yeah. 6 feet of water in the house. They went to Germany. Didn't even go. They weren't even at the house. They haven't even been to the house since the hurricane.
Yeah, yeah.
These people are in Germany. And Patrick, throw the photo up.
Oh, no. God bless. God bless. No. Look at that. They're like, don't even worry. There's literally dolphin in our living room back in Florida. But let's grab another beer.
Yeah, there's a full-blown speedboat in their living room. And these two are playing dress-up in Germany. Now, God bless these two. I wish I had this attitude about life. Now, I'm going to tell you the complete opposite. My father, he's so worried about his sub pump right now. He's got a basement with 2 sub pumps in there. My whole life, this guy has been worried that the basement's going to flood on a heavy rain, right?
This is outside of Chicago, right?
Yeah, this is on the northwest suburbs of Chicago. This guy, every time there's a heavy rain, he calls me. He goes, that sub pump better not break, right? So this guy don't leave the house if there's a chance of a rain shower, fearing that his basement's going to go underwater. And my in-laws are halfway around the world eating bratwursts and are in lederhosens.
Right. Yeah. Now, did your father ever have a flood even, or is this just in case it ever floods?
You know what? There's one time when we were kids, there was like a puddle in the washer dryer room, and he freaked out. He thought, he thought the whole house was going to fall down.
Right.
So on that photo that they sent the family, Lana says, "You look so cute," and this is the response, bro. I don't know if you could see this.
You see Tilt it down a little. What is that? You can't tell.
You know what?
A flower?
I'm just gonna throw it up. I'm gonna just throw it up. I'm gonna just throw the damn thing. I'm gonna give it to Patrick. He's gonna throw it up. This is what I'm getting from my mother-in-law on "You Look Cute." It's from Lana. This is on a family thread. Right. Just sent it over to Patrick. He'll throw it up. But this one, this is what we get. Why? Thank you. That's the. Right. These are the responses we're getting from my mother-in-law. By the way, in these emojis, you make it look like you, right?
Oh, that's him. Oh, get out of here!
Yeah, you could customize the emoji to make it look like you.
That's a game changer, man.
So I don't know. I need to see, and listen, I'm not the best texter, and you know that, man. I mean, you write a full blown book, and I respond with thanks, Yeah, so there's, I'm pretty bad at it myself. But when you're responding in emoji specifically, I got to tell you, you got to change it up a little bit. You got to give me something that I can work with.
Too, basically, too, what Lana said. She said, "You look like you're having so much fun," or something like that, right?
No, she's like, "Oh, you look so cute."
Right.
That's why. Thank you.
Listen, there's not much to play with on that. Even if you said, "Hey, you guys look like you're having a great time," I could come back with, "Yeah, we went to the ba 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 and the ba ba ba." But when you hit me with, "We look cute," it's nothing to say but thanks. I mean,
that was just one example. I'm just saying it could be more in detail than that, and we'll get the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to defend. I'm just saying it's a very slippery slope with these texts these days, man. And what's proper?
It is.
What does she say to do in the book? Does she talk about that?
Well, see, there is an etiquette section on technology that I haven't read thoroughly. But
that's okay.
I would think a later would be the end of the conversation. A later, a goodbye, I'm out, something to that effect. I think you definitely got to put a firm statement to say to the other person, we're done. We're done with this.
Yeah.
Right?
And how late, if I send you a text, how many hours can go by where when you respond, you don't have to say, "Oh, sorry for not getting back sooner." 24. I feel like you have a 24-hour window on a text. What do you think?
24-hour window on a text and a call back.
Jackie says that's insane. She says it's like 4 or 5 hours max. And she's like, even then, it's like, she gets annoyed when people don't text her back. I send out a text. I consider it like a letter in the mail. Like someone will hit me back in 3 days. You know what I mean? Again, except Watt's unbelievable. Again, the youth. He's like, sometimes he texts me back if I text him, and I'm like, this guy's got to have like a zillion people more in his life than me. So is he just hitting everybody back like all day?
Bro, this guy, when I've texted him, and I got a text back, and he's in the football game. What has he got it under his shoulder pads?
He's literally getting off the quarterback, texting you in the pile.
In the huddle. In the huddle. He's using it as a all right, let me these are tips for etiquette, all right?
All right.
It says, "Gentlemen, please keep those hands out of your pockets in polite company." That's a convention dating back to the Wild West when you might be hiding a lethal weapon in your pocket, ready to draw. Nowadays, keeping your hands stashed in your pockets is body language for I'm hiding something, hiding the fact I'd rather be elsewhere. Now, when you're talking in mixed company, let's say you're a couple guys at a party, what's your go-to on your stance? Do you do arms folded, hand in the pocket? What are you doing, man?
Well, if I'm at a party, I usually got a beer, so you got like, I don't know. I have to think about it, but I don't know. When I see photos of me that I didn't know were taken of me at a party, I like my gait. I'm not my gait. I'm not moving, but I like my stance. Who puts their hands in their pockets anyway? Nobody does that. It's a wasted page right there.
Some guys might have two hands in the pocket, just kind of like it. It shows me uncomfortable. It shows me insecure with the hands in the pocket.
Yeah.
I gotta say, a lot of times I've noticed I look down and I got my hands like this, talking to people, which means basically I don't want to be here and stay the fuck away.
Is that how you feel? Because that's a two-way look, man. It's a two-way look. I've seen guys when they're so into what you're saying, they're like, what? Like they're like, let me gather myself and really focus, you know? I find that happens sometimes too.
For me, a lot of the times, I'd say about 70 to 75% of the time, it's about comfort. It's the only way I feel comfortable if I'm not drinking or eating. Standing still is with my arms folded.
Right.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with what are you gonna do? Hands behind your back? Intertwined by your ass?
Right. No, I don't know. What do I do with my hands? I guess mine are always moving, you know?
Yeah. No. When you're talking, they're moving. But when I'm listening to somebody, the arms are folded. So basically take your hands out of your pockets unless you're looking for change or your keys.
All right.
Got it?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on. Let's say you encounter two people.
Yeah.
And you forgot one of their names. This has happened to me.
Yeah.
One of their names or more. Instead of panicking, just introduce them to one another. I'm sorry. Have you two met? Best result, they introduce themselves to each other. And then the conversation keeps going like nothing happened. Worse, you make a shameful exit to the bar as quickly as possible. So basically, if you don't know the people's names you might want to introduce them to one another. However, if they do know one another, they're not going to reintroduce themselves with the name, so you might be screwed. Now, this happened to me last night, and I want to know how you would handle it. I'm doing a set last night. Now, the comedian, it's like one of these shows that it's a comedian-run show. It's not through the club. Have you ever done these shows where, like, a comedian books it? Okay. I've known this guy for 16 years. 16 years I've known this guy. Just through comedy. It's not like we've hung out and like I don't really talk to him at all, just here and there. So he's been messaging me for the last 3 years to do his room. So,
all right.
Last night, I come to the show, and this guy's running the room, and he goes, "All right, just bring me up after you you're done with your set. Just introduce me, bro. I don't know the guy's name, and I known this guy for 16 years. His name completely slips my mind.
Right.
Now I'm about to go on stage. What would you do? The guy you're supposed to bring up, you don't know his name, and you're going on stage. How do you work this?
This is the move I do. It's a beautiful move. I'll go up to somebody else, and I'm like, dude, don't tell him I'm asking you, but what's his name again? It's crazy. I'm blanking. And then that person will tell me the name. But the person that I'm saying, dude, what's his name? I don't know that person's name either. So after he gives me that guy's name, I go up to that guy and go, Dan, don't tell him I said this, but what's that guy's name? And he goes, John. And then I go back to John. And I go, Johnny, thanks for telling me Dan's name. I fuck him out. But in this situation, bro, you got to almost just go, yeah, I don't want to bring you up. Just, I'm going to say goodnight, and then you go up. I just, I don't know. What's the move?
The move.
I mean, this is so upsetting to this guy if you didn't know his name.
I know. I can't. It's like I've known him for so long. It's not like I could go, what's your name again?
Right.
And he'd be like, what? We've known each other for 16 years.
He'd be like, what? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Right?
Oh, man.
So thank God. This is what I was planning on doing. I was planning on going up, and at the end of the set, there's like not a DJ, but there's like somebody in the booth, and I go, who's coming? Who's on next? Like I would ask the booth guy who's on next, because sometimes the lineup changes, a pop-in comes in or whatnot. But thank God someone was coming by, and again didn't know that person's name. I go, what's the skinny guy's name? She goes, oh, this is his name. I go, thanks. Here's my fear, though. My fear is she goes back to that guy and goes, you know he doesn't know your name? Yeah. I think that's even worse when he's hearing it from somebody else.
Yeah, well, I'm still worried because you got to go 15 minutes before you say the name, and I'm afraid you're going to forget it in the 15 minutes that you're doing your thing.
Well, you know what? The name changed. It wasn't that guy. It was somebody else.
But yeah,
God.
I mean, she could if she did that though, then that's not cool of her. You know what I mean?
No. It's not cool, but I don't know. I didn't know these people. I didn't know what the hell was going to happen, so I was just.
Bro. But this is becoming a real problem as I'm getting older. I don't know if it's because I'm just meeting more people. I don't know. I don't think I'm like not remembering as much as I used to. But I don't want to worry about this anymore. It brings me a lot of anxiety, man. Like someone will come up to me, a comic, always a comic, bro. We worked together all weekend and da-da-da, and I bond when I'm working with a comic for 2 or 3 nights. I hang with him in the green room. I bullshit with him. We have some laughs. But, man, when I'm gone, I'm gone. I don't remember. So, and I feel terrible about that. But I don't want to keep feeling that way. So I'm just going to be like, I'm not going to, when I meet people and I don't remember the name, I'm just going to not say it and not worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I think my memory's fogged, and I think it's due to the fact that I'm not reading enough, and I'm going to get into that too. I'm going to do a promo here on a book that I'm reading. I'm actually reading the book. I'm not listening to it.
All right, bro. Loving it.
But the last etiquette thing I want to bring up on this particular segment is when you go to a play, when you go to a sporting event, any event that requires clapping, how long do you hold a clap? Like,
right.
How many times or how long is sufficient enough for a person to be clapping?
What do you think? I mean, I got an opinion.
It's not even in the book.
It's not.
There's a segment in the book that spawned this question, all right? The book tells you how to clap. It doesn't tell you how long you should clap. Like, for example, end of a play. Do you think that clap is longer than, say, a home run at a baseball game? Like,
right. Listen, my clap personally is always been based not on the rest of the crowd. It's been based on how I feel about what I just saw. You know what I'm saying? Like a home run to win the game is going to get a bigger clap than the end of Cats.
Does your clap subside when the rest of the people have finished clapping? Or are you the guy who's clapping beyond everybody else?
There's been times where my clap lasted longer than everybody else's, and it was a purposeful move. I was purposely making sure I was the last one clapping to let the dance show. My daughter had a dance show, and there was one particular dance. My daughter wasn't even in it. The older girls did. It was so good. I kept it going after everybody did, because I felt like it deserved more than the other ones we saw. There's been other times where I started to clap in a situation, like our priest one time said something. It was funny, and I was like, ha, ha, ha. And then everybody's like, we can clap for that? And then there's been many times, bro, where I tap out on my clap before everybody else because I don't even like what I'm saying. So, again, it's a feel. I don't go with the masses. What's your take, man? What do you do?
I find myself not clapping at all.
Even for something you loved. Like if you just saw Michael Jackson do Billie Jean front row in his prime, as much as you think the performance was amazing, you ain't going to clap?
I clapped when that kid, remember I tell you the kid that was playing piano at my daughter's?
Yes.
I clapped for that guy. I stood up and gave the guy a standing ovation in the living room.
There you go.
But that's not the norm.
Did everybody else?
Nobody else did it.
It's not the norm because nobody else has blown you away before, bro. You have a very high bar.
I tend to opt out on mass claps. Like when somebody starts clapping, I just like, all right. I feel like there's enough clapping in the room that is sufficient enough. If I took this off, it's not like,
right.
And it's not like there's 3 people in the room and I'm the 4th and I'm not clapping. I'm talking about a big group of people, 300 plus, right?
This is just this up until a few years ago is your same thought process with voting. You're like, you don't need me. You got enough votes. Yeah, you don't need my. Yeah, but if when you saw that piano player and you jumped up to give the standing O, if everybody else did as well, would you have been like, you don't need me then, I'll go back down?
No. I would have expected everybody to jump up just because it deserved that type of appreciation. I'm talking about general clapping.
Right.
Like just general clapping. Nothing like it's the end of something or... I'm trying to give you an example of a general clap. Somebody gets up at a business and talks, and their speech is done, and they go sit down and people clap. Somebody wins an award, and it's 300 people getting the award, and people are going up, and people. I take those off.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Bears field goal, win the game. I'm clapping. Could be just by
That's
myself.
borderline. Yeah. Is that cheering though? I don't know. Let me ask you this: have you ever clapped at something that you are in your home watching on TV, whether it's a show, end of a movie, something like that? Even sporting.
I've clapped at like a presidential speech
That you thought was great?
When he's saying something and I'm like agreeing with him. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I'll do that.
Who is that for? I mean, you know
I can't divulge. I can't divulge.
No, I don't mean what president's for. Who is the clap for? There's nobody who could hear you clapping. That you know. Just for your family members. You mean
for like Lana or?
Okay.
I could be sitting there by myself going, "That's it, nice."
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Now the second part of this, and this is going to be a demo on this. I need to see you clap. I need to see if it fits the etiquette book here on clapping, because they have a specific way a man should clap and a specific way a woman should clap. So let me see your clap.
Well, I mean, what kind of clap? You want my clap after a Billy Joel song? Because that's rough. You know, I mean, that has a who comes with a who. You know, yeah. I mean,
well, is the clap different? Then I want to see a Billy Joel clap. Exactly what you would do after your favorite Billy Joel song. Then I want to see a clap that your Sadie's teacher on parent-teacher night got up in front of the class and said a little speech, and I want to see that clap.
All right. Whoa. All right. I got to get away from the mic. This is the Billy Joel one. You ready?
All right.
Woo! Woo! Billy! Woo! Woo! Like that. All right?
Well, bro.
That's and for like 40
yeah,
seconds, like crazy. Hands aching at the end of the show. No voice after every Billy Joel show.
Okay. Before I even comment on what I just saw, I need to see the standard clap.
All right. Teacher just said something, and we're all going there. So the kids made this project, and we're all very proud. I'm like,
okay. All right. That's the wrong way to clap.
what, bro? A little side right here, so you still see my face, but
It's a woman's clap. It's a woman's clap.
Wow.
Women
Yeah.
keep the left hand still.
Right.
And pat it like you just did. Right?
Oh, really?
That's how a woman is supposed to clap. Yeah. Men use two hands simultaneously. Now, you had it right with the Billy Joel thing. The problem I got with the Billy Joel clap is that you raise the clap over your head, which shit, bro. This is clapping 101, man. This shit stays below the chin, man.
Yeah, but I go up here because I know I'm so excited that I'm going to have to pull apart and do this a few times anyway. So if I'm down here, that's like too far. So I just stay up here. Billy! Wow. So this is my clap for most of life. This is my polite clap. I'm only clapping because it's awkward to wait for you to get back to your seat or whatever.
Yeah. According to 24 karat etiquette, that needs to be changed. If you're a man and you're clapping that way, I mean, Jesus Christ, I gotta tell you, bro. No podcast is doing this. People are learning how to clap.
I know they are. They are. I mean, no, it's unbelievable. I literally have on the top of my list here, which kind of goes along with the clap. I'd love your take on this from an etiquette standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm in Dunn Tires yesterday getting the tire change for the winter tires. And it usually takes about an hour. So if you want, you can go in the waiting room. So I'm waiting. Old timer comes in. Guy must be in his, I don't know, early 70s. And he's whistling. And he whistles for a solid 5 minutes. And I got to tell you, it was a pleasant whistle. He was a happy guy. But I'm like, you wouldn't come in and sing a song. So what's your take on a pleasant whistle? Is that acceptable? Is whistling, lightly whistling in public, acceptable?
I was so bothered by a whistle in public. I could tell you exactly where it was. Baltimore, Maryland, in the Under Armour store. I was shopping for T-shirts in there, and I heard, I can't even get it going. One of these, like not like a song, just more like a casual, like whatever.
Yeah.
One of those, bro. It was running down my spine. All right. There's no reason anybody should be whistling. For me, a whistle is to get attention. You know that one they do with the pinkies underneath the thing.
Oh yeah.
Some people do it like just without it. But there's no reason you should be whistling in public where everybody needs to hear the whistle.
Well, I think maybe this might be a case too. A whistle sounds like a bird. And you hear birds whether you want to or not all the time. So what's the difference if I'm whistling or a bird's chirping? Is that, and it's a tough call.
You're waiting for your fucking tires to get changed. And generally speaking, there's not a bird in the waiting room at the tire place.
No, it's not. But, I mean, you got a nice little... I can't do it either. Here's my thing. I did not mind the whistle, but I minded the fact that he felt it was okay to whistle without. I mean, like, you almost got to look at me and go, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do you mind?" Now, can you go up to somebody whistling and go, "Would you mind not whistling?" Or is that like, Jesus Christ, guy, what's your problem? A little whistle?
You can't go up to anybody and tell them to stop whistling.
Mary Poppins whistled, bro. It was beautiful.
Give a fuck who's whistling. It's
Jesus.
It's not something you should do.
I'm using Lord's name.
I'm actually looking up whistling here in the book.
Yeah.
Voicemail. No, they don't got.
I was never into whistling.
Man.
I'm not. It's not. It's like.
No, I'll have to look. I'll every week we're gonna do, not every week, we'll do this as part of the show. I mean, this is
absolutely
to me is a wealth of knowledge that people need to hear. Here's another. Well, let me just show you. So I got these. These are made by Apple. These are called Air Tags. Right.
All right.
I don't know if you could see it. It's a small little tag, right? And you put this in luggage, maybe your wallet. A woman maybe would put it in her purse. You put it on a pair of keys, set of keys. It's connected to your phone. And basically, if you lose it, here they are. If you lose it, you could find it with your phone. So if you left your keys at my house and you're at home, it would say the keys are at my house on your phone, right?
Right. Put one on your wife's ass. Not your wife's ass. I'm saying a guy can put one on his wife's ass.
That's a question.
Right.
What do you think about putting these on people?
Bro, I mean, that's not a bad idea. I mean, I would like to put one on my daughter's neck every day. Just right back here. Boom.
Just on a necklace. Put the thing on a necklace. This way I know your whereabouts. You know what? I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be this parent because I've actually made fun of this parent, but God knows by the time my daughter turns 17, I don't know what's going to be going on in the world. Putting this thing almost like a tracking device on my daughter's car when she goes out.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that? Like how you're gonna work this when she's like dating and.
By the time they're 17, I mean, maybe they could just have like a little camera that's like a dangling earring, so we can see everything they're seeing. Everything they're seeing.
They got that already.
They got that. Listen. Jackie does the Find Your Phone, right? She has that on me. So now when I'm doing a gig, like I was in Mohegan Sun last week, and I get up crack of dawn and I'm driving home, and for years I used to love that, where I know she's still sleeping. She'd roll up at like 9 o'clock and go, "Where are you?" And then I'd be like, "I'm ba ba ba," and she's like, "Wow, you're making good time." Now, she gets on. She goes, "Oh, I see you just past Binghamton." It's. I hate that. I don't like that. I don't like knowing that people know where I am. It's like a weird feeling, bro.
It's not even like you're doing anything bad. It's just a sense that, like, my wife has done that because we got the same thing on the phone, and she goes, "What are you doing at Chipotle?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm getting a burrito. You mind?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, man. The days of just being kind of invisible are done and over. That's why I'm fucking flabbergasted that these people who cheat, who think they're not gonna get caught cheating on their wife or their husband.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, guy, it's like there's no way you could get away with that. Just tell the person.
Even if you're getting away with it, to know that there's a person out there that all they have to do is go to your house and knock on the door and tell your wife what's going down, and everything you have comes crashing down. I can't have anyone walking around with that kind of ability. You know what I mean? Like if I ever did make love and cheat on my wife, I'd have to, Jeffrey Dahmer him at the end of every time. Okay, now get in the vat, honey. I can't have you roaming around. You know too much. Sure.
Get in the vat. Holy. Get in the vat. What? Speaking of Dahmer, have you watched any more episodes?
I've been watching them. Last night, Jack didn't even want to watch it, and I go, I got it for cast homework. I'm 3 in now, man. It's insane. So
what if? Because I don't know. I watched 10. I don't know what's 3. And
okay,
6,
right. So I'm right around. Okay, so he already killed that one dude who came home with him. The first kill when he was living alone at his house when his mom was gone, and the dude was jogging.
Oh yeah,
the dude was going hitchhiking.
Yeah.
Right. So, by the way, that guy. The guy's running, jogging with no shirt, hitchhiking with no shirt on. And Dahmer picks him up and says, "You want to go back to my house? I'll take you to that concert you want to go. But first we'll go back to my house, drink some beer, smoke some pot, lift some weights." So now they're lifting weights with no shirts on, smoking pot. And at one point, Dahmer's benching. And when Dahmer's done benching, the guy leans forward and does a pat on Dahmer's bad chest and goes, "Looking good, bro." Right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you remember, a little later on, Dahmer tried to kiss that guy, and the guy's like, "I'm not gay," and blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Now, if I was gay and I was lifting weights with another guy with no shirt on, I'd already think we're doing it. But then if he patted my sweaty chest with his bare hand, I'd be like, "Yeah, this guy's blowing me in about 10 minutes," right? I mean, Dahmer was not wrong for leaning in for that kiss. Right?
No, I don't think he was at all. I think he definitely had a sign there with that little pat on the chest plate. But here's the question: he killed that guy in his own home, right? And his parents at the time were not there.
Right.
My question to you is: the dad came back, right, to the house. Yeah. And said, "Jesus, what are you doing in here? What's that smell?" Would your parents know you killed somebody in their own house? Do you think you got the type of parents if they came in and go? Because to be honest with you, we never had parties in my house growing up.
Right.
We never had parties. Like, people will be, oh, my parents are away for the weekend, we're going to have a party. My parents are so in tune with the house where they would come back and my mother would go, why is that bowl 2 inches to the left? Like, you know, we could never put the shit back well enough to mask the fact that we had a party.
Right.
So my question is, would your parents would have known that you killed somebody?
But the difference, bro, is this: if your hobby wasn't, you know, soccer or whatever it was growing up, and your hobby was going into your shed in the backyard and dissecting skunks and rabbits and birds and shit, you know, I would imagine the house always had the stench of death at some point because, you know, this dude was dissecting everything and the father was loving it. Like, you know, he found something he loves, let him be a taxidermist. So, I mean, I don't know how he got the stains out of the carpet because I thought that was impossible to do. But did you see when he baked the bones and then he smashed them up? And my God.
That's what I'm saying. It's like this guy's smashing bones in the basement. You're telling me a bone fragment didn't fucking fly somewhere and is laying on the floor and the father come home and goes, "What? Why is there a tibia on the couch?"
I know, man. I know.
Right? I'm shocked at this whole documentary that no one's picking up on the fact that this guy's not only killing people, but, you know, saving body parts. You know, it's not like he's getting rid of the body. He's saving this shit, right?
What about when he got pulled over for drinking and driving and he had 2 garbage bags in the back of the car with the dead body? Yeah. And then it's like 4 a.m. He's loaded, and the cops are like, "Where you going?" He goes, "Oh, I can't sleep. My parents are divorced, so I do yard work at night and drink beer and fucking I'm dumping the yard work." And they go, "Oh, okay." I think nobody wanted to deal with any of this, man. Everybody was just looking the other way. Like, you know, it's late at night. The cops like, what do you say? I don't want to ruin your life. You're 18. You have your whole life in front of you. I don't want to ruin it.
Should have ruined it. Should have ruined it because this guy killed 16 people after that. Bro, I can't wait till you get deep into this because there's so much to talk about here. Is he living with the grandma yet?
Yeah, he's eating dinners with the grandma, and he had the mannequin that he stole from the store.
Okay, let's talk about this. We got to talk about this. Okay. Yeah. My grandma... But did she find the mannequin yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My grandma comes into my bedroom, and there is a male mannequin naked in my bed. All right?
Right.
There's more than, what happened to my mannequin? Because he comes back and goes, "Where's my mannequin?"
Oh, yeah.
And she goes, I threw it out. And he's pissed at her that she throws it out, and that's the end of it. I come home, and I go, "Where's my mannequin?" The statement after that is, "What the fuck do you got a mannequin in your bed for?" Right? Like, there's a discussion. And then I am sent to a mental institution. That's it.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I mean, I wouldn't put it past your dad first to make you go back to the store with the mannequin. Just an embarrassment, being like, "I stole your mannequin."
Yeah,
and then
where'd you get this?
we'll off to the institution.
Yeah.
But bro, don't you think there was a little bit of, you know, like the grandmother? I felt like she knew this guy was fucking nuts. So like once he smashed her butter dish, she was probably like, "Listen, let me just be nice and toe the line because this guy's crazy." And what are you going to do with this guy? You going to kick him out and then he's going to come back and kill you? I mean...
I thought he was going to kill the grandma.
I did too.
I had to look up online. Do you ever do this if it's a true story and you're watching a movie? Do you ever pause it and you start searching online and go, "Did he kill the grandma?" You know, like, I couldn't wait to get to the end of the thing to find out if he killed her. So I'm just trying to figure out in real time, like, does he kill the grandma? So I looked. Does he kill the grandma? No, the grandma's alive. But you gotta 2 more episodes. I can't wait to talk to you about what this guy does.
How about this? Do you remember the episode when he was in the army and he drugged the guy down the hall and said, want a party. And then he brought the guy into his room. And they kind of just, then he got disbarred from the Army. You don't know what happened. But he obviously didn't kill that guy because there was a hallway full of people. If you were that guy, all right, so for anyone who hasn't seen this part yet, he drugged this guy, and the guy said they were going to party together in his dorm room in Ohio State. No, in the barracks in the Army, wherever he was. The guy came in, passed out because it was like a date rape drug. And then, by the way, man, it was creepy thinking that, like, is that what Cosby was doing? Did I say? Like,
I don't know, man. This whole drug thing, giving people drugs. And I mean, we talked about, I think, last cast where he drugged the guy in the beer, and he's like, what's in the beer?
Right.
And he's dish soap or whatever. It's like, no, leave. The thing has got dish soap in it, and it smells like rotten flesh. And you're staying, and there's blood on the bed.
Now, if you're the guy that got drugged in the Army, the rest of your life now, right? That was so innocent. You didn't know anything about Dahmer. He says, want to have a beer with me. You're at a party or something else. You married now. You telling people that you had a beer with Dahmer and he drugged you? Like, that's like that would be a party stopper.
That's a story. That's a story at a party when somebody's telling it. If I'm hearing it, immediately I go get Lana and go.
That story would get an applause clap from me. Yeah. Can you imagine? Because those are the ones that really blow my mind. The people that like were around this guy, that like, you know, if things would have gotten just right, he would have ate them too. But there was something happened and he wasn't able to. You know, oh my God. There's a guy, by the way, a cast listener. I don't have his name. He sent me his email. I got to get more organized. Not enough time in the day with this. He went to the same high school as Jeffrey Dahmer. And he's like, I just want to give you some little tidbits. Oh, he's older than Dahmer. He's like, he didn't go there when Dahmer went. But he's like, all the yearbooks, they have one copy of every yearbook at the school. Yeah.
He told us this on the last cast. That's checked out the most.
I didn't tell you that. You must have read it. Yeah, you must have read it.
I'm sorry, man. I jumped on your story.
No, that's all right. You must have read it, too. Then you know what I'm talking about.
I swear to God, I heard this from you.
And then he said that every year they don't tell the kids who had his locker.
Oh, I must have read this.
Yeah.
I must have got the same message.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Isn't that sick? It's sick.
Well, listen, Dahmer wasn't bad looking when he was cleaned up. It wasn't that bad. I mean, the glasses were horrible.
I heard Dahmer was everybody thought he was hot. Wow. He was ripped, worked out, stunning. Yeah.
My thing though is in a lot of these cases, granted the one guy he kissed called him gay and that didn't work out, but there were other times where he was like, he was about to have sex with these men, and then he's like killing them, and I'm like, whoa, why don't you just have sex with them? Why you got to kill them? And then I read an interview with him now, like in 1994, some lady was allowed to interview him in jail before he got killed. He was killed in jail. Mm-hmm. And he did an all exclusive with her. And I read the article the other day, and she was saying that Dahmer said that he ate the body parts of people because he was lonely and it kept them with him. And in my head, I'm like, why didn't you just fuck the guy and then go get breakfast with him? And then he's still with you that way, too, instead of eating his heart. You know? I mean, it's
so fucked up, man. This is so weird, man. It's fascinating stuff, though. It's opened up a whole new interest in this whole Jeffrey Dahmer thing. Great hanging, bro.
Of course.
For those of you that don't know, Patreon, Pete and Sebastian show on Patreon, $5 a month. You get an extra episode, some behind-the-scenes footage of what Pete and I are doing with our personal life, as well as recipes, book recommendations. I didn't get to my book recommendation. I'm going to do it top of the show next time.
I forgot to tell you about the TV show. I'll tell you that, I guess, next cast.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll change in a week.
Yeah, it's almost like a little to be continued. It's like a little cliffhanger at the end of the show where people get like a little nugget. We wet their beak so they could look forward to something next show.
I'll let them know if I became Bobby, if I got the part. Next cast.
That's it. Next cast. Does Pete become Bobby?
You plugging any shows or what?
No. Go ahead. All right. You got anything?
I got the first one is coming up in October 29th in outside of Philly, Keswick Theater. Listen, big one, Gramercy Theater, November 4th, New York City. Go to PeteCorreale.com and all my dates are there. But let's get that one going, guys. I'd love to see it. I haven't been in New York in a while. Should be fun.
Go check out Pete in New York City, especially at that Gramercy Theater. Really nice place to watch comedy. I do have a couple things, some housekeeping stuff outside of stand-up. It dropped today. The Super Mario Brothers movie trailer.
Oh, cool.
It just came out. Check that out. In theaters April 7th of next year. I play Spike, who is Super Mario and Luigi's boss. So check that out. Looks like a big movie. The trailer just dropped today. And
are you in the trailer? Are you in the trailer?
I am not. The trailer's very. You don't see a lot of the characters in the trailer, but it's a pretty cool trailer. So check that out. Right. And I'll leave a cliffhanger for another announcement that just came out. But you're going to see and hear that announcement on the next cast. For now, thanks for the support. Pete and Sebastian Show. My name is Sebastian Maniscalco. That is Pete Correale. We will see you next week.